Hi, I'm Norman Liss. The name of the program is The Way to Go. I invite you to join me as we explore places to go and things to do. There's a place in Westchester that I've been to many times, but I haven't covered on this program for a long, long time, and that's the Westchester Community College. They have a wonderful program that I think is something that perhaps more people should know about. It covers a wide range, and I'm delighted to have today as my guest Paula Rubenstein, who is the coordinator of cultural affairs at Westchester Community College. You've got a great program as I've looked over it for this coming season, ongoing now, continuing on into 97. But you call this program Smart Arts. Why was it given that designation? What made it Smart Arts?
Well, I believe that one of the reasons was really sort of a double-edged sword, as it were. One is that we feel to bring the arts, interesting arts, unique in itself and different from the other performing arts centers in Westchester.
In what way, Paula?
Well, trying to get artists that are yet to be discovered, or art forms that are yet to be fully explored, and bringing those to the Westchester community and enlightening the people, therefore making Westchesterites very smart, and the artists themselves discovering new ways of presenting their art forms with fusion arts and new technologies. So the smart pertains to both our audience, who we view as smart, becoming smarter, and the artists who are even smarter than the run-of-the-mill artists who have been doing the same things.
But Paula, you say people who are not too well known. Now, you feature on your brochure cover Pilobolus.
Yes.
And Pilobolus is certainly well known. They have performed in Westchester before. They're one of my favorites. I think they are, for people who love dance, they are unique. People who don't particularly want dance, they are exceptional because they can make you love the form in which they do it. They're so athletic. And they're doing something special. Right. Really. What are they doing? Well,
one of the reasons why we choose an incredibly reputable dance company like Pilobolus, in the past we've used the Martha Graham as a very special fall dance day celebration, is because several years ago they were at the cutting edge of modern dance and broke through the barriers of what was traditional dance. And so we celebrate that innovation. They participated in the smart arts of the world.
But they're doing master class?
They're doing a master class in which it is free and open to the public, and so that people can better understand, educate, and get themselves to be smart in terms of why their technique is unusual and different.
I have to admit that sometimes when they're appearing and they do 2 shows or 3 shows in a row and do different things on different nights, I have gone to all of them. That's how I think they're unique.
Yes.
One of the things that I remember most, and I don't know if they're going to be doing it at Westchester Community College, is when they take their curtain calls sliding across the stage on a wet tarpaulin.
Oh, yes. One never knows what they do next, and they are working on unusual choreography, and I am told that there will be certain pieces that have sort of been premiered throughout the country, but not debuted yet in New York. So hopefully they're going to select that to try our audiences out and do some of those wonderful things. And they certainly have reinvented the vocabulary of dance, and they're very smart.
When will they be there?
They're performing Saturday night on November 16 at 8 p.m. in the Academic Arts Theater. And they will be giving some master classes also during the day on that Saturday, November 16, starting at 9:30 in the morning.
My goodness. I promise you I will be there.
Okay.
But Pilobolus obviously is a favorite of mine. But you're doing so many things that are so different and unusual and provocative in many cases. So why don't we start talking about the different things you're doing? You have many different series, actually, don't you?
Right, yes.
And it's so broad. So why don't we talk about them?
Okay. One series that we're especially proud of, and we think it's quite smart in and of itself and unusual, is the New World Voyager series. And the focus of that is on the multicultural diversity. We would like to take people around the world without their passports and really show them the cultures of the world and how they fuse together with all kinds of art forms.
You're going into Spanish dance, right?
And that's right. We're featuring on October 12 the Carlota Santana Spanish Dance Company, and she has taken flamenco as a universal language.
I love flamenco.
And she will show you how this has been impacted and influenced by cultures throughout the world in a historical framework.
What do you mean by show you? Is it that sort of a presentation where she explains the development?
Well, let me just backtrack a bit. There is a formal performance that she will be given on October 12 at 8 p.m. But earlier on October 12, she too is giving a master workshop that is free and open to the public from 2 to 3 p.m. And so she will be explaining and demonstrating and asking for people to participate in the universal language of flamenco and explaining how she derives her dance from that technique.
You know, I'm intrigued by what you're saying because I'm tempted to say, I'll be there.
Oh, okay. Okay, bring on your dancing feet. Stomp the wooden floors.
I do like flamenco, and I go to see it whenever I can. And there's something about the posture and the technique and the colorful costumes that are just great. Let's go on. What else are you doing in this series?
Well, the other performance that is part of the New World Voyager series is a tribute to African American History Month, celebrating African American pride and culture. We are having a group called the National Black Touring Circuit that tours around the country.
What do they do?
And, well, they have 7 or 8 different choreographic and musical pieces. We have asked them to do a presentation called Celebration, in which they take you on a historical and musical journey from the beginning of African roots all the way to African American present-day contemporary scene. So you will be listening to the poetry of Sojourner Truth and Dunbar's poetry and listening to the music and tunes of Stevie Wonder and Whitney Houston and Tina Turner. So you will be going from way, way back in time all the way to the present day, and they will be showing you that pathway and how the culture has evolved.
As we go through these, the term eclectic keeps popping into my mind. They really are diverse. How much of an influence does the public and the student body have on the selection of what you do?
I think that we probably, our mission is to be extremely responsive, and we welcome feedback before, during intermission, and after a show. We welcome letters and phone calls, suggestions. If people have seen fascinating groups in their travels, to certainly let us know. And we try to respond to those suggestions, requests, because we feel that certainly there's a wealth of knowledge. The Westchester community is extremely intelligent, extremely sophisticated, and we do like to respond because this is the county's college.
Yeah, when I say eclectic and I think about diverse entertainment, roller skating, how does that fit into performance?
Well, we feel, like the Smart Arts question that you originally asked me, that this is going to be one of the new smart art dance forms yet to be fully developed. We know that a lot of culture sometimes comes from the street, like hip-hop dance, and then it evolves to a more artistic level. Well, in the good old days of the childhood roller skating, and now we've got rollerblading and inline skating.
With and without helmets.
That's right, with or without helmets. This is a dance company who has background, whose dancers have background in traditional ballet, modern dance, and athletics and gymnastics. And they have choreographed pieces using both rollerblades and roller skates. And so you will see jazz and tap and all these other genres through the vehicles of rollerblading and roller skating in a holiday, because we have them coming in December, so we had to get a holiday theme, and they will be presenting this kind of fusion art form. They have just come back from Europe, so we're very happy that we were able to get them to come.
It's interesting that we're talking about roller skating. I recently saw Big on Broadway, and skateboards are a very interesting part of that. People, the youngsters, go skateboarding across the stage so much. I guess everybody wants to be with it today, and that's what it's all about.
That's right.
I keep feeling that the appeal to the students is important for you. But I also note that one of the things that you say in your material that what you present is affordable. And I know you give discounts for students and also for seniors. So you're not saying, hey, we're only for people who are going to college, but the performers are, you think of the seniors, I guess they're an important part of everybody's audience today. So there are discounts for seniors and everything that you do.
Yes, our purpose really is to bring culture to the mass of our audience in Westchester, and we try to make it as affordable as possible. There are several series where we promote children under 12 for the families to come, and so their children under 12 are free. We have a number of series that are free and open to the public, and of course we have the discount, as you mentioned, for children and seniors and certain other kinds of performances. So we do invite and promote the audiences to come.
We're going to give you an opportunity to say what telephone number people should call to get ticket information, a full schedule, copies of your brochure, get on the mailing list and all. But first, I do want to remind our audience that we're talking about the terrific program that is scheduled at the Westchester Community College. And my guest today is Paula Rubenstein, who is the coordinator of cultural activities. We talked about well-known groups earlier, and we talked about Liss. We got another well-known group, and another one of my favorites, by the way. I'm going to have a busy season with you.
Well, we'd like to help you with your cultural life. Everybody out there, we would just love to fill it up.
And who are they? The great improvisers, right?
Oh, yes. The Chicago City Limits is coming to Westchester on May 3rd at 8 p.m. They will be performing in the Academic Arts Theater, and we are very happy to have them. They're doing a special show now off-Broadway, and they will be doing some improvisation and stand-up comedy. And we feel that we would like to begin to explore that whole area of improvisation and comedy as an art form.
For those who aren't familiar with what they do, why don't you just give a little rundown on how people throw out the words and they take it from there?
Right. Well, it's highly participatory, and they take various suggestions from the audience and throw it into a song, throw it into a little skit. They may even ask a person or two to come up and begin working that person into their general piece, and then they get the more specifics as they go along. And so it's really sort of art in the making, in the moment, very present tense, and they themselves don't even know how a piece may end.
Some of our top performers today started with improvisation.
That's
I know
right.
Nichols and May started that way in Chicago.
That's right.
And there's so many people who perfected their art by doing improvisation. I don't know how they do it. I'm never at a loss for words. I don't know how they do it. It seems to me that the minds are just churning while these people are throwing out things, and then how they work in way out different type of terms into their skits.
It's
Unbelievable.
Really,
great form of entertainment.
It's really an orchestra with all kinds of mental instruments operating with words and images in the audience, and it's a very interactive, vibrant, vital kind of medium.
Before we get on to some of the others, I do want to give you the opportunity to give the telephone number, and we'll do that again later in the show. So what is the telephone number that people should call?
Okay, the Office of Cultural Affairs at Westchester Community College is area code 914-785-6567. Again, that's 914-785-6567.
And as we usually do in this program, in the closing credits, we'll put that number up again. Just review some of the other series that you're doing, and then we'll get back to specific different terms. I see that you do a lot of children's things. You have matinees. You got classical music. What else? Cover it all.
Well,
how can you remember it all?
Right. Well, that's why I have the brochure to remind me, because we do have really a very full schedule this year. One of the things that we launched is the World Music Matinee Series for this season, and that is to celebrate also our community college's 50th anniversary. So we are pleased to present this series. There will be 3 performances, and we really are trying to encourage families to come. Children under 12 are free, and there are 3 different concerts, and these are being held in the Student Center Lounge, which is a different kind of a performing area than the more formal academic arts theater.
What sort of programming, what are the specifics of the programming in this series?
Well, we have 3 groups coming. One is the Hester Street group, and they are going to be doing klezmer music. And they also use a very participatory kind of format. They ask for audience participation. They go out into the audience. They may have the audience members come up and join them. And so they will take you on a romp through Eastern Europe and the music that was made famous in that area.
Some people say that it's Jewish jazz.
Well, yeah, it definitely has a Yiddish idiom, and certainly jazz is at the roots of it, and it's folklorish and folk music-ish, and I've even heard that it sort of smacks a little bit of Celtic music in this folklorish genre.
Klezmer means musician, and it's Yiddish dance music.
It is
basically.
Yiddish dance music. And also there's an improvisational piece to klezmer music. So one never knows how the piece will begin and end. And that is, of course, also based on the audience response and how enthusiastic they are and so forth.
What I like is usually the clarinet, the flights that the clarinet goes off, and sometimes imitating the human voice in what it does.
Yes.
It's I'll be there.
We go through the span of human emotion, the gut-wrenching heart, and the joy, and the ecstasy, and we go through a bunch of emotions like William Blake's poetry.
What else is part of this series, this afternoon series?
And then in March, on March 16, we will be celebrating St. Patrick's Day by having a group called Pipe on the Hob, and they too are very participatory. They'll be doing Irish and Scottish and music from Britain and the British Isles. And they tell some storytelling and get the audience involved, and they'll talk a little bit about how the music came to be and what it means. And they too, it should be a really happy, joyous kind of a concert.
And what's the third one?
And the third one is a musician that is going to do a tribute to Segovia. He is a maestro on Spanish classical guitar music, and he will take
His name?
David Richter. He's a young musician. He has several recordings. the music world is very excited about his artistry, very reminiscent of Segovia himself, and he will take the beloved pieces of Segovia and play them in a crystalline kind of purity, because this is what David Richter is known for. This concert is taking place on April 5, again in the Student Lounge, so people do have an opportunity to sit and be up close to the artists, and they also have an opportunity to speak to the artists during intermission and at the very end. So it's a wonderful performing space, and we try now to put as many kinds of acts into that space because people love that very special quality of being close to the artist.
Intimacy and involvement with the master classes, sitting in rehearsals, I think that adds so much to music. I frequently go to the Philharmonic rehearsals, usually on Thursday mornings at Lincoln Center. One of the most interesting experiences at a chamber music concert that I was going to, in the afternoon, a group of us went to them rehearsing, and you learn so much about what goes into it, about the arguing on the fine points of what should be done, and a lot about. I remember a violinist said that his bow costs more than his violin. Some of those insights that you get by being up close and being able to talk to the people, and I think that intimacy that you're talking about is all part of that. I don't like chamber music in large halls. And I think that what you bring in all of this is the fact that your theaters are small and that people can have real close and these special things that you're doing. I think it's great. We have to talk a little bit about where you're located, and because it is near everything, actually. Westchester Community College is a great location.
Well, the main campus is in Valhalla, which is just a few miles away from White Plains. We are off many of the major highways, off 287 and sort of right near Knollwood Road and
Bronx
Grasslands Road, Bronx River Parkway. The Sprainbrook Parkway leads into where the college entrance is. And we do have maps that make it very easy for people, and bus routes. There is the White Plains and Beeline Westchester buses that go right onto the campus. So if people can't reach us by car, they can reach or attend something by bus.
And one of those wonderful things that always have to talk about is lots of parking and lots of free parking.
Yes. The parking is free, which is a tremendous advantage. The entire campus is handicapped accessed, and so it's very easy for all sorts of people to get to us, and it's a pleasure once there to be able to park and get to the various performing areas.
It's what you're talking about, and we're just touching on some of the things that are happening, and really the way for people to find out is to call the number that you gave and to get a copy of the brochure and find out specifics. A little bit about your own background now. One of those little-known secrets is that you danced ballet on the stage of the Metropolitan Opera, didn't you?
Right. A number of years ago, I did train and study formally, and that was in the pre-Lincoln Center days at the Metropolitan Opera House. And I do have some background in ballet and in music. My instrument was the piano.
It's interesting how people in positions like yours so often are performers themselves. I know I've talked to a lot of the people, museum directors as well as performing arts center directors, and they're musicians or artists. Sometimes it's a better path to follow to be someone who's putting these things together than fighting the good fight of trying to get bookings, isn't it?
Well, yeah. It's a whole other kind of profession, but it's sort of a wonderful marriage of talent and skill.
When we think of some of the people that you have there who are really at the top of their art, in order to achieve what they do, to get where they are, they have to be not only good, not only the best, but the best of the best.
That's true.
Otherwise, there are so many talented people around, and we hear so much about young performers who really cannot make it to a solo career because of all the difficulty that's involved with it. I think that what you're doing in working with young performers and encouraging them and giving them a showcase and putting them in an atmosphere, it's just great. How does it all work for you? I mean, you're so involved with this. You're fairly new at doing this at Westchester Community College, or you've been involved in all sorts of theater before?
Yes, I teach young children music and creative movement drama, and but it is I must admit, it is a rather exciting thing to discover new talent and certainly to promote some of the new and young artists at their cutting edge before they make the big discovery or they are discovered. And I think it's an interesting strategy and mission for the college because I think it falls into the whole thing of educating and becoming better and bettering oneself and evolving.
And we have evolved to the point where we've run out of time, and I thank you so much for coming here and telling us about this wonderful program at Westchester Community College. My guest today is Paula Rubenstein, and we've learned a lot about this great program at Westchester Community College. Go there. Call them and get a copy of the brochure. You'll find some great things for you to do. I'm Norman Liss. The name of the program is The Way to Go, and until next time, enjoy yourself.